There were things that God taught me after some years. There were things that He taught me, and I want to share one of them with you. In some of my posts or some of my broadcasts, most of you'll hear me. I use a particular word most of the time, and that is covenant. I mostly use the word covenant, commitment, for a reason, accountability for a reason. Now, when you are going into marriage, you need to understand that it is way beyond a ceremony. What you do on your wedding day is not ceremony. When you go to the altar and you make a vow, you take an oath for better, for worse, till death do us part. That thing it's not a casual comment you are making. That thing you are saying is a covenant. You are taking an oath. You are taking an oath before God. Now, the reason that Christians go to the altar to get married is because it's a covenant. Because covenants happen at the altar. Before God enters into a covenant with any man, He will tell the man, build an altar. Few times that I went into a covenant with God, I built an altar. The first thing God will say is, build me an altar. When you build an altar, He will lead you into a covenant. Now, when you enter into a covenant, it's through sacrifice. So you are dead to self. You are dead to your opinion. You are dead to individuality. You are dead to the spirit of independence. You are no longer one person. You are now joining yourself with somebody, and the two of you become one. So you are no longer an individual, and that is why I'm against anything individuality or independence in marriage. I don't believe in independence in marriage. I believe that when husband and wife comes together, they become one, meaning that my phone is our phone. If I'm in the shower and my phone is ringing in the room, my wife should be able to pick my call, right? She should be able to pick my call if she's there in the room. It's no longer my phone. It's no longer my bank account. It's no longer my car. It's no longer my house. Everything I own before I got married, everything you own before you get married, the moment that person enters into your life, it is now our phone, our car, our house, except you don't trust the person. You see, when people get married and they still live like individuals and they still live independently, is a lack of trust. Because if you trust the person and you understand that you made a vow at the altar, that vow and oath you took before God, some of us, some people during their wedding, what they do is that they go extra mile and they take Holy Communion. That Holy Communion you are taking is the blood of Jesus, is the flesh of Jesus. You went an extra mile to take the blood of Jesus and the flesh of Jesus, a communion. You entered into a vow. You made an oath before God, before the altar. Now, when I'm saying altar, altar doesn't have to be at the church. Altar doesn't have to be at the church. You can do your traditional wedding and invite a man of God to consecrate somewhere in your house and join you together. It's still marriage. You can do your court marriage and invite a man of God at the court to join you together at the court. As long as a man of God is involved, as long as a servant of God, an ordained servant of God, not just any man of God, an ordained servant of God, ordained priest, ordained pastor is the one that can join you together, not a brother in church, not a deacon. Understand that. A person of authority, a person of spiritual authority is the one that will join you together. Now, it doesn't have to be at the church. Not everybody has money to buy wedding gown. It's not everybody has money for wedding gown. There are people that don't have money to buy wedding suit. So, wedding is not a ceremony. It's a covenant. It's you bringing God into the equation through His servant. So wherever you choose to have your wedding, whether in the church or wherever, the servant of God will consecrate a ground, a place as the altar, and you'll be joined together. I encourage people, let's carry your pastor along. Carry your pastor along. I know why I'm saying this. The Bible says I will give you pastors after my own heart. There's a reason that God gave you a pastor. Carry him along. There's a reason. There's a reason. Now, let me go back to what I'm saying. Marriage is a covenant. So when you come before God and both of you are saying for better, for worse, in life and in death, till death do us part. When you are making those oaths, understand that you are entering into a covenant. And when you enter into that covenant, you become one. Covenant makes you one. You are no longer an individual. It's not partnership. We are one already. And if you're one, it means that nothing should be hidden. Your movement should not be hidden. Where you are should not be hidden. If you are somewhere, you should let your spouse know. If you are going somewhere, your wife or your husband should know where you're going. You don't just leave the house and you walk away. Some people will even travel and not tell their spouse. It means that everything you have belongs to the both of you. Your phone becomes our phone. Your loan, student loan, becomes our loan. I'm not going to leave you alone to pay it. It's our loan. Pay attention. It is our loan because we're in covenant. Right? Your body becomes our body. Even the Bible said it, that the body of the man belongs to the wife and the body of the wife belongs to the husband. Your money becomes our money. My money becomes your money. Is our money. Is our car. Is our house. When people go into marriage with covenant mindset, they'll be committed. But all this spirit of independence, spirit of individuality, you see a married person, they will tell their spouse, just do your own thing, let me do my own thing. Keep your money, let me keep my money. Now, I'm not saying whatever works for you, please. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. Whatever works for you, do it. I'm telling you covenant. I am telling you the covenant approach to marriage. Covenant, not partnership. Not people living together as roommates. You do it when it's convenient. You sleep with your spouse when it's convenient for you. The day you are not tired, you tell the person, I'm not in the spirit today for it. I'm sorry. Covenant means you do it when you are tired. You do what you need to do. You have to pay bills. Bills will be paid. Right? As a husband, providing leadership is key. You are not making excuses about it. You are the head of the family. You are not making excuses. You don't put your wife at the pedestal where she will be the leader of the house. She is not the leader. Your wife is not the head of the family. The man is the head of the family. So you don't push your wife as the head just because she's making more money than you. After all, it's our money. If it's our money, take your place as the head of the house and provide leadership, provide vision, provide direction with the help of your wife. Right? If you are the wife, allow your husband to be the leader, to be the head. You're not trying to take his place. You're not trying to superimpose your ideas on him. He has the final say. There are things you will tell him, he will say, hold on it. Do you know what it means for somebody to be the leader? A head is the one that can say, hold on it, and you will hold on. And submission is not what you do when it's convenient. Submission is what you do when it's not convenient. When it is not convenient, that's submission. When you have the money to go for shopping, and your husband say, hold on it, you say, yes, sir. And you are not saying yes, sir, in disobedience. You are not saying yes, sir, in rebellion. You are not saying yes, sir, so that I will pay him back. Tonight, he will want to touch me. And I will say, no, don't touch me. Not yet. Hold on. No. Being the head of the family means that he's answerable to God. Adam and Eve sinned against God, right? And God went to Adam and left Eve. God went to Adam and started questioning him. Why did God leave Eve, the first person that ate the fruit? And he went to Adam to question him because Adam is the head. And being a head doesn't mean it's tyranny. It doesn't mean he will control everybody. No, it means that he's actually serving everybody. It means that he's providing direction and vision for the house and structure. So that is, by the way, what I'm trying to say is this. When you go into marriage, enter into it with a covenant mindset. Understand that you are one. Except you married the wrong person. If you marry the wrong person, you'll be hiding your phone. If you marry somebody you don't trust, you'll be hiding your money because they will steal it. If you marry somebody that you don't trust, they will leave the house and not tell you where they are going, and they are going to their side chick's place. If you marry somebody you don't trust, then you'll be worried that from work, when the person say, oh, I'm doing overtime, it's not overtime. They are going to see their boyfriend. Yes, some people that say we are doing overtime, it is not overtime. I used to work night shift, and I know what I saw in the night shift. Not everybody went to work. Some people came to do something else in the parking lot at night. So what I'm trying to say is this. When you make that vow at the altar, you become one. You are no longer, let me tell you something. You are no longer the single person you used to think. You are no longer single. You are no longer single. If when you were single, you leave the house and you go wherever you want to go, when you want to go, it cannot happen again. You are now married, and you should have the consciousness. You should have the consciousness that you are married. There are places you don't go. There are people you don't call. It's not every call you entertain as a married person. An opposite sex calls you when you are with your spouse in the bed at night, and you pick the call with an opposite sex talking in the hearing of your spouse. You don't have respect. We need to have mindsets about what we are going into. And as a single person listening to me, understand this. I know you're excited about getting married. You're excited. Oh, some people think that marriage is about having sex. It will shock you that time will come in your marriage that sex will become work. It will be work. You know how you go to work? It will become work and you have to do it. You don't feel like doing it, but your husband or wife wants it. You have to do it because you signed for it. You are tired, but you have to go and take a shower, eat food, and go to bed. You must do it. Why? Because you took a vow. You take an oath that this is what I'm going into. That no matter what happens, I will submit to you as my husband. No matter what happens, my wife, I will love you the way Christ loves the church. And you stand by your word. Not that the person will lose their job tomorrow and you kick them out of the house. You say, I don't want it again. You don't have a job. Go your way. Or you start disobeying him because he lost his job. It's for better, for worse. So when you go to that altar and make a vow, understand you are now in a covenant with your husband or wife and God. It's three people. The Bible says a threefold cord cannot be easily broken. God is involved. He's in the equation. It is the presence of God that makes it a covenant. That's why when a child of God, a Christian, after traditional wedding, start living together, I don't believe in it. After court wedding, start living together. No, I don't believe in it. I believe that a man of God has to join you together. I'm not saying you must go to church and do wedding. I'm not saying you must wear wedding gown. That's not what I'm saying. But a man of God must bless the marriage, and you make a vow. You make a vow before God at the altar. So wherever the priest of God or the pastor consecrate as the altar, you will stand there and make a vow. You take an oath. That's what marriage is. So without that vow, without that oath, there is no marriage. Without that vow, if you don't open your mouth to exchange vows before God, not just at the court. I believe in court wedding. I believe in traditional wedding. You know, the traditional wedding is to honor the family, the parents of the girl. Court wedding is to register it. But the servant of God must join you together. That is when you are married. That's when God is in the equation. That is when that marriage is blessed. Some people going through marital crisis, they don't know what their problem is. Some of them is that you did not invite God at the beginning. Before you started living together, you did not involve God. You just went to court and they joined you together, you went home. A servant of God did not lay hands on you, lead you into covenant and bless the marriage, and you went and started living together. Now you are having problems and you are blaming God. It's not God. You did not involve him at the beginning. The Bible says, what God has joined together, let not man put asunder. My question, what if God did not join you together? What if God is not involved? What if you didn't involve or invite him at the beginning? Now you are having issues. You did traditional wedding, you are living together, having sex. No, you have to involve God. So when challenges come, you can go back to God and say, Father, you joined us together. We need you now. We need you. But if at the beginning you did not involve God, you are already cohabiting and living together, sleeping with one another because you did court wedding. God is not involved though, because there is no blessing in it. So you must go to the altar and make a vow and exchange vows. That's marriage. Marriage is the all. See, I'm about to end this. It's getting long. Marriage is when you make a vow. You don't become one with God until he leads you into an oath. I entered into several covenants with God over the years, and each of them I took an oath. Each of them I made a vow, and I documented it and I signed it. Each of the covenants I entered into with God, I signed it, I took an oath, and I signed it. I built an altar for it, I took an oath for it, and I signed it. Then God is able to answer me. There are prayers I pray, and I will tell God, remember my covenant with you. And he will show up and settle things for me. Why? Because there is blood on the altar. I made a sacrifice through a vow, through an oath. So this to young people, this thing you are running into is commitment. This marriage, you are trying to post all your pre-wedding picture and pre-wedding whatever. You are running into a covenant. You are running into a commitment that whatever you do as one. Yes, It's no longer your car when you get married. It's no longer your house when you get married. It's no longer your clothes. Your wife can wear your clothes at home and move around the house. It's no longer your phone. Your husband can use your phone and he should know the password, except there is something you are hiding. And that thing you are hiding will be exposed one day. Right? It means that your spouse should know where you kept your money. Some of you, your lawyer knows where you kept your properties, but your spouse doesn't know where your investments are. Is that not foolishness? That a lawyer knows where you kept your investment and your spouse doesn't know where those investments are. Is that not foolishness? Does it make sense? That somebody outside you are not in covenant with knows where your investments are, where you made all you left your money at this bank, left it at this bank, left it here, and the man or the woman you are in covenant with, you are living with, doesn't know where they are. That's not covenant. As I'm ending this video, like I said, you don't have to believe what I said, but some of the problem you are having in your marriage is because there is no covenant. One, you did not invite God at the beginning. You did traditional wedding and you started living together. That's not marriage. A man of God should bless the marriage. Whether you did church wedding or not, a man of God must bless that marriage, because marriage is a covenant between two people and God. A threefold cord cannot be easily broken. Some of the people that are having issues in their marriage today, they don't know that it's a foundation problem. You did not invite God at the beginning. Just because a man impregnated you, you carried your bag and went to him. The question is, did God tell you he's your husband? In fact, you shouldn't be sleeping with him in the first place, because he's not your husband. I'm already sweating. I actually came to the gym. So I'll be going in a minute. I want to encourage us, please, single people, before you start posting your pre-wedding picture or whatever engagement picture, go and read books on marriage. Ask questions on marriage. Get counseling, and know that this thing you are going into is covenant. It's a vow. It will separate you from certain friends. Yeah, marriage will separate you from certain people. It will put boundaries on you. There are places you don't go again. There are things you don't say. There are things you spend money on. You won't spend money on them again. Because your wife can tell you, honey, I don't think this is a priority for you to buy another car. Hold on. We're not buying another car right now. And she has the right, as your wife, to make a suggestion. You may want to do something and your husband say, hold on. He's the head. He has the power to say, hold on. Right? He has the power to say, hold on. This is not good for some of you who have the spirit of independence. It's not good for you, and I'm happy it's not good for you. So you will learn. In marriage, understand, it's a covenant. If you don't have covenant mindset, you'll be hiding your phone. And that phone you are hiding, my question is, what are you hiding? This is a question. I've done a video about 2 or 3 times on this. What are you hiding? That phone you are hiding, what are you hiding? You are with your spouse in the room. You want to answer call. You leave the room. What are you hiding? You use somebody's name. You use something to save somebody's name. You know that guy is not that's not his name. His name is not Chioma. His name is Emeka. But you are using Chioma to save it, so your husband will not know. What are you hiding? If your hands are clean, what are you hiding? You left the house. You didn't tell your spouse. Where are you heading to? That place you are going. Why is it that your spouse can't know where you're going? Why wouldn't he know? Or why wouldn't she know? Let's start telling ourselves the truth. That marriage is not working. It's because people are lying to one another. It's lies. When 2 liars come together, it won't work. 2 people that are not transparent, it will not work, because you are not trustworthy. You are not trustworthy. In fact, I think sometimes people should go and do paternity tests to know who their children are, because it will surprise you that all your children, you think they are your children. Some of them are not your children. Some of the people you say are your children are not your children. Sometimes you go and do check if this person is my child. The way this child is behaving, are you sure that child is your child? Very, very important. And for those of you, finally, for those of you single who still believe that before you marry, you go and have the last sex with your ex, goodbye sex, so you go to your ex to sleep with the person for the last time, is a wrong foundation for your marriage. That marriage you are going into, and you are going to have sleep with your ex to say goodbye, you have laid a wrong foundation for that marriage, and there will be crisis. there will be issues because it's a wrong foundation. You are going to have a covenant with somebody. After entering into that covenant, you bring the spirit of the person and the demons in his family or her family, you bring it into your new marriage. Everybody you slept with, you carry their spirit, and you bring their spirit into your marriage. Let's be careful. Marriage is a covenant, and sex is a greater covenant. God bless you.